I stand as myself and speak for myself in myself. And I am not the trustee over the all caps name that you're operating on.
Well, you're here in court today because you were charged with some charges.
I'm here in court today because I am making a special visitation. This is not an appearance, only spirits appear. Living men, living persons make special visitation. That's why I'm here, to make sure that you guys don't tainter my truthful, proper names.
Do you still live at 28 Flying Eagle in Manhattan?
That is a storage unit that I sleep in from time to time.
All right.
I live in myself in this body. I am the living man.
Mr. Talgate, you were here. You were seen by Mr. Putz on 9/3/13, and you asked, at that time he appointed you a public defender. Did you apply for the public defender?
What use have I for a voice of ruin? They
Very
can
well.
only speak
That's your
fictitious
choice.
legalese to you. I speak natural living man's English to you. It's called common English. That's the only thing that I work in.
That's fine.
There will be no legalese used here.
Well, you were charged on the 31st of August of 2013 with obstructing a police officer in violation of 45-7-302. You were also charged on the same date with resisting arrest in violation of 45-7-301 of the Montana Code.
Those men were charged by me right back by staging an overthrow of the Constitution of 1789, an overthrow of the Bill of Rights, an overthrow of my rights to forage for food as a natural living person who was in hunger. I was searching for something to put in my stomach, as I am recognized to be allowed to do by universal law. Has nothing to do with your corporate fiction. They violated everything, and furthermore, for your knowledge, they violated Judge Holly Brown's Title 26 United States Code ruling, which I went before her and prevailed on 21st March 2011. DPO 9-58A is the case number wherein she evidenced that I am not a taxpayer because I am not a federal citizen. Federal law trumps state law at every turn. I have 9 judge rulings to that end, when that trumps state law. I am not registered crap. I am the living man, and I have the right to forage for food when I'm hungry.
All right. But you're here on different charges.
That
This is not
what
Holly Brown's
stands.
courtroom.
Ma'am, you can argue this all day long. You're operating on a corporate fiction.
I'm telling you, you're here on some charges which were filed in 3 courts.
I do not
Number
understand
one.
those charges.
Number one, you keep interrupting me, and I'm going to charge you with contempt, and you'll go to
All
jail.
contempt of court is spelled C-O-double-N. I know about conning. That's navigation.
Sir,
Contempt is the storm.
I said, be
Don't
quiet
touch me.
until I get
Don't
through
touch
reading
me.
this
You
to
ain't a
you.
gun. Don't
Officer?
you touch me. I am the living man protected by universal law.
You keep
stand
talking,
down.
and you're going to be charged with contempt, and you're going to go to jail.
You have already contempted this place.
No, I told
by
you
the
I
fraud
would if
you're
you
trying
didn't
to
quit
get done
talking.
here. These are the living witnesses to what you're trying to do.
Very
You
good.
are trying to create a fictitious fraudulent action. You are trying to bilk the Federal Reserve by
Sir.
securitizing in all caps commercialized name
Sir,
and
would you
notifying
remove
them
him from the
that
courtroom?
they are standing in debt now. If you touch me, you will violate natural law. Do not come near me. I am
Then
protected
shush,
by the land.
shush.
Do not tell me to shut up. I am
am-
the living natural man, and my voice will be heard. That is the Jolly Roger. That thing you call the American flag with the gold fringe around it is the Jolly Roger, and you are acting as one of its privateers.
Okay, you're here on the charge of arrest.
I'm
resisting
here by
arrest.
special visitation.
Right. And you're
I've
here
never
on
let you get away with
obstructing
this.
a
You bet
police
I'm here.
officer. To each charge, could be up to a $500 fine, up to 6 months in jail.
I do not understand any charges. I only understand universal law and the right to live.
Well, you
to
pled
live at
not
peace
guilty.
and to live as I need to.
You pled not guilty in this
I
court.
never plead. Animals plead. Sound like bah, oink oink.
I have a paper with your signature on it, sir.
It says prime evidence standing right through it. You bring forward all natural forms of evidence that I'm not prime evidence. I am the living soil. The dirt, the water, and the air has its own voice, does it not? It all supports
Sir?
forms of life, does it not? I am a part of that life. I am not your corporate fiction.
Sir,
Do not taint me.
you're here today on an omnibus hearing. You've already pled not guilty.
I am here by special visitation to see to it that you do not taint my natural living man's name.
Are you prepared
That's
to
why
tell
I'm
the
here.
court if you wish to go to trial on this matter?
This is a trial. Tell
No,
me it's not.
this isn't a trial.
Here's my
This is
jury
an
of my
omnibus
peers.
hearing, sir.
You cannot produce a jury of my peers because all juries are selected from a pool of registered voters, and the instant a person registers to vote, their natural ability is appear to comprehend natural law has been dissolved and turned into fiction. There cannot be raised a jury of my peers. It cannot be done.
Excuse me for just a moment.
No way. Get back here and finish this. Hey, get back here and finish this. The judge has left the courtroom. There you go.
You what?
Yeah,
There is nobody in this courtroom.
Yeah.
The judge has
Yeah.
walked out.
the judge will walk down,
I
everybody up
said
and
no
out.
excuse.
Everybody up and out,
I'm not letting you
Up and
go.
out. Up and out, up and out. Follow the man. Get your hand.
What's that? You're witnessing history here.
Thank you.
I've seen it before.
Abandon the court.
Don't hang around. Let's go. Get out of here. Let's go. Don't dally. Let's go.
Abandon the court.
Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. I don't know. Come on. Where's the driver? Leave him if need be. Where we going to? Headwater or Bear?
Yeah.
Headwater. Headwater. Stay tight on me. You're gonna try something. It's in your eyes.
The defendant, Ernie Wayne Terlelgye. He is not represented by counsel here today. Mr. Terlelgye has been charged with 2 misdemeanor offenses, which we'll be trying today.
I must object. I am not the name that he is referring to. I am the living man. The name that Mr. Riley refers to, ma'am, is held by the state in all capital letters and is identified by the state on the state's driver's license, ma'am. I am not the all capital fiction. I am the living man whose mark is that of life. It is called a signature, and the nature of that sigil, ma'am, is the living person. It is never in all capital letters.
Mr. Terlelgye, you will allow Mr. Riley to continue
Ma'am,
with his voir dire, and you will have an
I must
opportunity-
object, ma'am. Without
Objection
proper
overruled.
evidence of oath and bond as required, and I am backed, ma'am, by 20 United States Supreme Court cases to this end, it should have been brought to my hand more than a month ago, and no evidence has been brought forward of any competency of any of this. I have to speak for myself, ma'am. No one here is capable of doing it, and particularly those that are bar or non-bar. They can only speak, ma'am, to the legal. My interest is to forfend my person's living name.
Your Honor, this is an improper objection in violation of the motion to
And
eliminate.
the objection is, Mr. Terlelgye, you are not to interrupt Mr. Riley again.
Ma'am?
He has his 30 minutes. Then you will have an
Who can
opportunity-
tell the living
Now,
man
Mr. Terlelgye,
in a commercial event such as this,
Sir,
Who has the right to tell the living man when he can speak and when he cannot speak, what sounds he can make and what sounds he cannot make?
You understand?
He is addressing British law, ma'am. He is a minister on behalf of Great Britain.
I'm going to hold you in contempt if you continue to disrupt this.
Ma'am, without oath and bond, contempt has already been established here.
30 days in jail, or you will be removed
In the
from
face
court.
of all these witnesses, ma'am, where is the evidence of oath and bond,
You
ma'am?
cannot talk.
Look,
Now, do you continue to disrupt?
the requirement is right here, ma'am.
Okay.
It is through all ranks of the court, ma'am. I have done due diligence and due process, ma'am. Eye to eye. I faced those who would come against me. I communicated properly. I backed up my work. I backed up the research. It's nice and neat. And I have total failure. I have total incompetency of the court because there is no evidence of Mr. Riley's office, nor of yours, ma'am, nor of this lady's here, nor even the fine police officers that are here today. I have nothing to work with now. Now I'm out here hanging over the abyss. I must make my own way.
And you will be allowed that, but allow Mr. Riley.
Why, please give me an honorable answer, is a British recognized esquire asking questions in an American courtroom? Why is title of nobility applied behind this gentleman's name that is recognized as being banned from our country in the 1789 Constitution? Is nobody going to stand for our Constitution?
Allow this, I'm telling you.
I cannot, ma'am. In honor of the Constitution of the United States, I cannot allow a man who carries British recognition for the purposes of British ministerial law to continue to persecute me. I cannot, ma'am. I have to honor the founders, ma'am. I honor the memory of those who fought and died that we could be free of this very type of thing.
You'll be taken up to the jury room where you may watch the proceedings.
Stand up.
I have reminded you.
If I stand up, I give you recognition.
Please stand up.
All right.
Stand up.
No,
Stand up.
pick me up. I cannot give you recognition. I'm constrained by the United States Constitution of 1789. Sir, you're a Bozeman native. What are you doing backing a British recognition? Should be ashamed of yourself. Gentlemen, this is an overthrow of the 1789 Constitution, an overthrow of the Bill of Rights. It is an overthrow of Title 26 United States Code, and above all, it is an overthrow of universal law. Would one of you remove my bolo tie and return it to somebody in the crowd, please, so that it doesn't disappear from this place?
We'll take care of that in a moment. Okay?
See to it my stuff makes it back in my bag. I do have a duly appointed court representative, ma'am. He has made his way through everything.
Okay.
He will speak as my voice. Okay, fair enough. Good afternoon. My name is Ernie Wayne Tertelgye, and I am the natural living man. Many of you know that I've had a large battle going with the Montana court system in Gallatin County, Bozeman, Montana, over the all-capitalized corporate fiction, which would appear to be my name, spelled in all caps, which would then cause me to be identified as the property of Rome. You've heard me speak to the fact that I am not said property, that I am the living dirt, the living water, and the living air, which all three have the voice, and at the minute, the voice is me. It's also you. I've prepared a little statement here with some questions to try to get folks to think and talk a little more. And this is also going to double as an invitation towards the end of what I would like to say to you. Do you believe in the golden rule of law, which states that no one is above the law, and by that law we mean the Ten Commandments. Nobody's empowered to harm another, nobody's empowered to infringe on another person's rights to survive, as long as the survivor, the forager, is not harming anybody. or being detrimental to somebody else's property. Do you believe in that golden rule? That no one is above the law. Well, in Montana, our state law here, which I have right here for a direct reference, mandates that every official, regardless of capacity, that holds any office, first must recite an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Montana, and that upon demand, any official must produce that evidence of that oath immediately. It should be memorized. They should have it tucked in their pocket, in their wallet, somewhere on them, and any time you as a citizen, an individual, say, you know, I want to know that your office is actual, let me see that oath, let me hear you say it. That official, as far as Montana is concerned, is totally required to produce it just the instant you ask for it. If they can do it by memory, that'd be the better for them. If they have to bring it forward on a little piece of paper and read it off to you and show you the notarized evidence that this was first done in front of a notary so that it's sealed and recorded, well then that's fine too. The facts of the matter are that none of them have done this. Now I'm going to read the direct citation to you. It is found in CF 37-61-207. Again, that is CF 37-61-207. This is Montana state law. Oath. Every person on admission to office shall take an oath to support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Montana, and to faithfully discharge the duties of an attorney with fidelity to the best of the person's knowledge and ability. A certificate of that oath must be endorsed upon their license and a duplicate filed with the clerk. This is from Montana Code annotated year 2011. As regards my case, I filed this request on the 6th of September of 2013, looking to build the discovery packet, the packet of discovery. That would give me all the information necessary to help me navigate my way through this banking mess, which they want you to think is a court action. It's a simple banking mess. Now, as of sitting right here talking to you on this screen, not one single actor, not a banker that wants you to think they're a judge, not a deputy, not the sheriff, not Marty Lambert, not Wanda Drush, not Brian Adams, not Rick West, not anybody, not Coulter Metcalf, not Adam Pankratz, not Justin Fennis. All of them have utterly failed to observe and uphold the very oath that they took to claim the office that they're claiming. There has not been brought to my hand one shred of evidence that any of them are actual. That causes them to become imposters. Okay? The French call it an impostere. It means a fake, a fraud. They're pretending to hold office, but it's a pretense only. There is no actuality behind it. Now here's how this works. I began the requirement on this on the 6th of September 2013, and I gave them 30 days in this required response. In other words, I didn't say if you'd like or at your leisure. I said you've got 30 days and you will produce it, or it will be known that in your failure, that failure is the same thing as silence, and silence equals guilt. Your names will be gilded and perhaps even securitized, as they already have been by their employers. The fact will be that there are no sheriff, no deputy, no judges, no bankers, no lawyers, no attorneys, no Patrick C. Rileys. They're all a bunch of damn liars and have failed to produce the evidence of any of their capacities. Now, one thing I'd like to say here. There are some of the deputies that I have come to know throughout this mess here that I have great respect for, and I have seen in their faces that they have developed a respect for me. When this first kicked off in early September and I was first arrested and brought in, my manner of speech caused some of them to think that I was a mental case. However, as they watched this grow and they watched the impact that all of you have brought to this 8,600,400 hits on this type of thing as I navigate my way, has opened their eyes. I have not treated the deputies badly. I have offered to shake their hands. I've looked them in the eyes. I've never called them names. I treated them with respect first. And so it is to the deputies, the working class men in there and women, that I extend this hand of fellowship to. And I say, if you're not aware of this, then because of the Latin phrase ignorantium juris non excusat, which means ignorance of the law is no excuse, that being a double-edged sword verbally that runs both ways, then time's up, baby, and you better dig them oaths out. Likewise, it was required of them that they produce the evidence of a bond. Now, I happen to know from research that it's an insurance blanket bond. Nevertheless, the word says bond. Where's the dadgum evidence? All of them, likewise, to the all-caps person, has utterly failed to produce any evidence of anything. That makes them professional frauds, total imposters. So, in that 30 days, I got utter silence. You heard me tell Wanda Drush, then show her in my large book of information the precise location, the number of pages that I had done due diligence on face-to-face, filed it through all 3 levels of the Law and Justice Center, which is a pirate ship. It's a criminal ship having 3 decks to it. It is totally signed, sealed, and delivered, received all the way in, and you saw that Ms. Drush had no comprehension of anything that I was speaking of, which ought to tell you something about your own cases. They don't bother to look into it. They don't have a clue about what you may have filed. This keeps them deeper in their own fraudulent criminal standing, okay? They, having had 30 days to comply with state requirement, that window then closed on the 6th of October of 2013, and here I am, just 8 days shy of going to trial on January 27th, 2014. Total silence is what I've had. This is why I told Rush I'm out over the abyss. I have no communique from you guys. I have nothing to work with. I'm totally on my own, as are all of you. So, this little deal I'm reading to you here today, pardon me as I get used to the location of this screen, I tried to script this in a fairly logical way so I wouldn't waste your time. I value your time and your interest in these things. And remember that, well, this all concerns you. While you all hear my voice and see my face and my old tri-horn hat and all, this is actually you. You're living this nightmarish hell with corrupt bankers just the same as I. You get to live it every time you receive a bribe from the IRS that you think is a tax refund. You get to live it every time a private pirate called a highway patrolman pulls you over on a British waterway for vessel inspection. You think you're driving down a freeway or a state highway or a city street, or you're even parked in your own driveway. Well, my good friends and fellow Americans, you're on British soil and in British water, and that's why you're under Admiralty Maritime Law, as I nail Patrick C. Riley, Esquire, an American trader, with, and you saw it filmed. And you also saw that my claim on him was never denied nor rebutted by either himself nor Drush. It stands. So this is an invitation for all of you to come to the next banking action. They're going to call it a trial, but it's a commercial activity, a commercial event, in which Rick West, who is a banker at the Law and Justice Center, is going to try to securitize the living natural man, incorporate him into a world of fiction, stealing my name. You can come down at 1:30 in the afternoon. I don't have the exact courtroom record yet, the number 1, 2, or 3. You won't miss the crowd, hopefully. Be prepared for any kind of trouble. The people here in Gallatin County, the imposteries, are scared out of their minds and they're looking for any kind of trouble. None of you that come, leave everything at home. Don't bring anything but a driver's license as evidence that you're held in duress. Don't bring pocket knives, don't bring anything, okay? Bring yourselves, bring your ears, bring your children, those that are old enough to come. This will be a living lesson. You're invited by me to come down and watch the imposter Rick West, who has produced no credentials whatsoever, stands in total violation of Montana State Constitution and 1789 United States Constitution, not the 1871 corporate, which I have, and maybe you didn't know that exists, and now you do, and maybe you ought to ask me about that sometime. Come down at 1:30, January 27th. I know it's a working Monday, but if you can break away, come down, because you need to see what they're going to try to do to me. The living man, the natural living man upon the land of the land, being dirt, simple dirt, as are all of you, simple dirt, good soil. Because, well, it's only me today, it ain't going to be much longer. Maybe tomorrow, it's going to be you. Then it's going to be your family when they raid your home and take whatever they want and maybe plant stuff in your house or in your vehicles known as a vessel or on your person. And then maybe it's going to be your children, your grandchildren. Have any of you thought about the banking debacles and how the deputies and what have you, underneath the behest of the imposter Brian Gutkin, who has produced no credentials of office either, have come out and shuttered and chained various doors on behalf of fraudulent bankers. And if you happen to be one that had a family in that house that was foreclosed on, and now things have begun to go south, and then your hours got cut thanks to Obamacare, and then the state said, well, you're no longer competent. You don't provide a roof over your children. Your hours are nebulous. You don't even work full time. You cannot take care of those children, and because you registered them through the birth certificate, they are the property of the state, and so now they can swoop in and seize your children as the property of the state of Montana whenever they want. Well, that could be you. How would you like that little scenario? I guarantee you it's happening while we sit here visiting today. I want to read off a list of the names to you that are direct imposters. And I'm going to start with those at the Three Forks Pond where it all kicked off at. That would be Adam Pankratz, who claims to be a warden with the Fish and Game or Fish, Wildlife and Parks, who has never ever produced any evidence of his office, even though required to by Montana State Constitution and United States 1789 Constitution. Justin Fettis, Fish and Game Junior Warden in training. Where's the evidence of your damned office? There ain't any. You don't exist. You're a fraud and imposter, and you stand like all your others in violation of Montana State Constitution. Coulter Metcalf, who I warned, do not touch me. Mr. Deputy went from being a city cop to now being deputized by another imposter named Brian Gutkin, both of whom have utterly failed to produce, mark, and seal any kind of evidence of their office, and both of whom stand in violation of Montana State Constitution, causing them to violate 1789, absolutely. Patrick C. Riley, Mr. Montana native, I'm a Bozemanite, watch me go. He bears a title of nobility immediately after his name, Patrick C. Riley, Esquire. Attorney at law, look up the word Esquire and use an encyclopedia that's 50 years old. Get yourself a lesson on this. Do a little work like I have done. Learn what an Esquire is. and then see how he's sacrificing you for his sake. Wanda Drush, Justice of the Peace. Well, pieces of what? Pieces of 8? Oh yeah, pieces of 8. A private pirate operating a courtship vessel called a privateer for the benefit of another pirate called the state of Montana, lining her pockets and theirs by raiding, robbing, pillaging, and plundering the sheep, the registered sheep of Montana. When I say registered sheep, if you got a social security number in your pocket, you're a registered sheep. Rick West. Well, Mr. Banker extraordinaire, whose hand shook so bad on our first encounter that he could not get the papers up off of the table. I'll see you on Monday, Mr. Imposteri. You, too, have failed to produce evidence of your office. You're a fraud. Absolute fraud, and you're violating. Every day that goes by without you producing the evidence of your office, oath and bond, you stand in violation of Montana State Constitution, causing you then to violate the 1789 Constitution, sir. Brian Adams, another judge, a banker, in black high priest robe of death. Well, good sir, I saw the look in your eye as I spoke certain terminology to you when I told you my natural name is non-gildable. You looked at me with a look of knowledge through the other end of that little thing you call a camera, and I picked up instantly that you know I know what I'm talking about. But the next thing you did, sir, was you stole my voice. And you spoke as me and said, well then, I'll have to put in a plea for you when I never pled. I said, my natural person's name, my natural living name, cannot be gilded. You cannot securitize it for the purpose of global Wall Street sales, like the title of a fictitious novel. Neither have you produced, sir. Likewise, with all the crew on your pirate ship, you, sir, stand accused of violation of Montana State Constitution, forcing you then to violate the 1789 Constitution as well. Jennifer Brandon, Chief Clerk of Court. I named you, appointed and assigned you as a trustee for the all-caps fictional corporate trust, Ernie Wayne Tertelka, which is not me. I know how to spell my name, how to collocate it. I named you, appointed you, you're assigned. This is received, it is documented, and none of you damn judges have ever looked through any of this crap. You have no idea. The blank looks on your faces as I dealt with you one by one showed me you know nothing of what you're doing. Not only are you imposters, you're completely ignorant imposters. You better get a lesson. Marty Lambert, where's the evidence of your office? Huh? Mr. Stand in violation as well and help others navigate to ruin. Oh yeah, I know all about you, Mr. Advoc Ate. Ate is the Greek goddess of ruin. Voc goes to the word voice, and AD stands for in the direction of. A voice in the direction of ruin. Well, maybe I'll see you on Monday. Now you know why I never hire a lawyer attorney, no matter what. They are an advoc ate. Their voice is in the direction of ruin. Oh yeah, the court says we can't hear you. You don't know how to speak banking terminology called legalese. We can only hear a lawyer attorney. Well, if you hire one of them, I guarantee your own sacrifice. Never hire a voice of reason to the court. It's guaranteed a voice of ruin to you. Lately, Gallatin County, which has 75 deputies on its force, has felt the need to drag in deputies from Marr County, Park County, Sweetgrass County. The last trial, the non-trial, you all watched me be arrested out of when I stood for the memory of those that fought and died for the 1789 Constitution. Well, they had deputies from other counties in there. None of those deputies have produced any evidence of their office as well. I want to reiterate what I said in the get-go. There are good people on the inside. there are honorable men and women who, when presented with the truth, will cease their pirating. I have to give them the chance. I have to put the hand of fellowship out to you first. It's up to you what you do with it. The last time I did this, 3 of you flatly refused, and the 4th one, with honor and some joy in his voice, took my hand, shook it well, and said, "Thank you, sir. Thank you for the good words you bring." I would ask you, consider my words well. Look around you at the condition of the county. Expand it to the condition of the state. Expand your horizons to the condition of America, the nation at large. Look at the world then. Think about what it is you're upholding, what you claim that you're willing to lay your lives down in defense of. It's a vampirical system, and it's drained the people of everything. How long do you think this can go on before there's a backlash? Truth will not be repressed or suppressed forever. Darkness will not forever hold back the light of day, and neither will the claims of Admiralty Maritime Law hold back the word Yebish in Genesis 1 verse 6, the dry land, the dirt, the soil, the good people of the earth. Well, the water claims, the laws of the sea, and the claims of the British accredited registry known as the G.B.R, Mr. Patrick C. Riley, you traitor. Well, you won't be able to hold the people back. Their time is a-coming, and all of you have, well, you're drawing the line. You're drawing the line, and I sure wish you'd erase it. My goal in all of this has been to cause the people to talk, everyone who had an ear and a voice to listen and to begin communication. And as I said before, 8.5 million people, it's pretty good evidence. So as I have read this and spoken these words to your heart today, remember that while today it's me, tomorrow it's you. Are you going to be the one in the chains, headed for the British gallows, like in the movie of the Pirates of the Caribbean? World's End, is that you? IRS shackles you and heads you off for execution, prosecutorises to be executed in your own skin? Or will you too take up that trumpet call of freedom? Will you draw the line and say, no more? No more fraud. You'll not rob my children. You will not enslave us. You will not call us animals. You will not register us like livestock. We are not your property. We will not allow you to securitize us and sell us on Wall Street like fictitious titles of novels. We are documentaries, and we live our lives. We write them in the sands of time, second by second. Think about these things, and if you can, come down Monday, January 27th, 1:30 p.m. Might come a little early. Could be a good crowd that day. And come prepared with an open mind. All of you that listen to this that are good people, I love you. I stand for the people of the United States and the people of the world at large who are under severe persecution by the criminal banking cabal. With that, I'm going to let it go. Thank you to those who have helped me to put this little blip out today. God willing, as time permits, perhaps you'll hear more from me. Try to keep it in 15-minute increments. There's much to consider, much to know, much to think about. And with that, I'm going to let you go. Children of the soil, listen to me. Today, we are Simon Peter, year 41 AD, crucified upside down by the Vatican in Rome. St. Peter's Basilica, you're him today. Today, we are Thomas Becket of England, year of 1213, freedom fighter. Today, we are William Wallace of Scotland, year 1314. All men die, few men know how to live. Today, we are my 8th great-grandfather, Matisse Kunrat Hushtiling, of New Amsterdam, New York, year 1641. His family and his properties that he had lawfully negotiated through for property ownership of with the Mohawk Indian tribe, seized by militaristic force of King George. Today, we are Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart of Germany, who comprehended these things to such a level his entire family turned against him, and when he died alone. Only his dog followed the hearse to the cemetery. Year 1762. Today, we are the Mohawk. Today, we're the Chippewa, the Cherokee, the Sioux. Today, we're the Blackfoot, the Flathead, the Mandan, the Cree, and all other natural native children of the land. Today, we are the aborted children of the American nation. And today, we are one. We are one. My voice is yours, and your voice is mine. This information here, all you free thinkers, free lovers, truth seekers, I'm calling to your souls. Use your minds and awaken. Lift up the hands that once hung feeble. Comprehend this information. To keep it simple in wise words from those who have better minds than I. This is the nuts and bolts of what is happening right through that door. Today, they are going to try to use a case number that they fictitiously created on an arrest conducted of my person about a quarter mile from where I stand. I had to cause a series of events where it would occur so I could get inside the system and unleash the cancer of truth and knowledge inside of them. You can't bring Rome down from outside, you got to go inside and implode it from within. The nuts and bolts, right from the top. Your natural name, the way your name is naturally spelled, is the cloak through which your soul is known. And your soul is known in what we call heaven or what we call hell, positive or negative, because the speaking of your name brings to those who hear it the instant image of your value. They hear somebody's name and we instantly know that person cannot be counted on. They're always whatever. They're a liar, they're always late, they're always behind, there's a tainter, or we know that's a person who's there ahead of time and all their ducks are in a row. In other words, your name is the covering of your soul. You are known through your natural name. Your name naturally is evidence of non-fiction. You are the actual primal soil. You were here before Rome because you arise out of the dirt that this blacktop is laid on. That is a British waterway. It appears as a state highway. You're standing in water and Britain claims to own it. You are, because of non-fiction actual standing, you are the living free person. If you draw air and you're standing up, the letters L-I create an arrow of navigation. Those letters, when they come out of this port, they're a vessel that you have deported from your being. They're going somewhere, and those two letters always stand up. You are the living primes. You are first in time. You are the living soil. The dirt speaks when you speak. You own your own proper name, and you are its eternal trustee. It is solely up to you, the value of your natural name. You are charged. No one gets off the hook with the value of that name, and it is your hands that create that value. It is your decisions, it is your thought processes, it is your convictions, it is your conscience, and ultimately it's your spirit that sets the value of your natural name. You are the eternal trustee. Eternal because when the body ceases, we all know the soul goes onward. The soul is not contained in the coffin. Only the body is held there. The soul moves on, and the soul is no one elsewhere in other places. You are the eternal trustee through the universal, notice the capital letters, very specifically in places, through universal right to live, right to life, laws of nature. If you are hungry, as I was when I was arrested for foraging for food, go to the Three Forks ponds, go to the river, go where there is something we call a fish in common language, catch one and eat it. Don't catch them all and leave none for anybody else. Only take from the universe what you need for the time being. It's called sustenance, and there is the true definition of the word sustain. You take what you need. If you need a deer, you go get that deer and screw man's seasons. You're not wrapped up under man's seasons. You are charged with the universe to be good to each other, and if your health fails, how shall you be good to each other? What use shall you have if you're starving to death? Then you become a drag on the person beside you, and now they have to fend and forage for you when you should have been doing it for yourself. Now, this, the BS, we all know what that means. Now comes the anti-reflection, the mirror, called ex post facto law. Now pay attention to the all capitals. Any appearance in all capital letters of your name in all capital letters. Elias, I need to register in the Oath Keepers right now on camera with you. Have you a form? I need to do it right now if you have one. Any appearance in all capital letters of what is not your name, it's going to bear the symbols of treachery and treason, and is going to set out to trick you into thinking it's your name. It is not. It is a series of symbols invented, imagined, created with a spoken voice, and put down by hand. It is called guilty in mind, guilty in voice, guilty in hand. Mens voc rea. It is the strongest charge that leads to a murder charge that can be laid on the actors that are behind this door behind me. Anywhere in the land, they have shed blood through a novel that will appear in all capital letters, and the title of that novel will not be your name, but they want you to believe it. Don't you believe it? You must never, 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 hear me, never claim to own that name. If you claim it, you have committed a capital offense, because that all caps name holds an official copyright from the Crown of Vatican on those all capital letters. It is registered property. They can buy it, they can sell it, they can insure it, they can do whatever they want to with it. It is not yours. It is a capital offense. When a cop pulls you over, or a fish and game warden pulls you over, or President Obama, the phallic president in the White House, pulls you over and says, "Give me your identity," you must tell him, "This is not me. I am not the all capitals appearance on this. This is the evidence of a murder. I am held hostage in a murder situation committed by the state of Montana when it enjoined itself unto this mess in the year of 1889. Gallatin County through the Buck Act of 1941. The bar membership here signed the Bloody Hands Compact in 1941 as a whole. Their intent, they comprehend this and know that under capital offense, Vatican Crown law, when plagiarism has been committed by any actor who is non-bar certified, their heads can be removed from their body by the Vatican. Hear me flatly. Just like Sharia law, I'm telling you the absolute certified fact. This is the standing of the evidence. This is not proof. Proof is what a lawyer and attorney does. Yappity, 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 yap. You call it a court process. It's an exorcism. It's witchcraft and hypnotism. Don't you fall for it. You are the actual primal being. You are the living man. This crap here is Rome's. Let Rome have it. Render unto Caesar. Render unto the Khazars that which is the Khazars. But if you're alive, you belong to God. When I say God, I mean the universe at large. You belong to each other. You don't have the right to deprive other people around you of your capabilities. You are charged. Each one of us is charged. We have giftings. We have abilities. We are charged with standing one for the other. We are family, and if we are not, we are then indeed dead men. Either we stand together or the whole thing falls apart, and look what's happened to our country because we've refused to stand together. Stand and remember, you never, ever, ever claimed to be that all caps fiction. And you must speak it out. If you fail to put the officer on notice, to put the judge on notice, to put the lawyer on notice that you are not this all capital appearance, in your failure to speak that anti-claim out, you will be tainted with guilt and held as if you had claimed that all capital name. That makes you having committed a capital offense. It means your head is in jeopardy, Tim, if you don't deny it. You have to say it's not me. You are not allowed to remain silent. Silence is acquiescence, admission of guilt. Then they will gild your name with their Aaron's calf gold and try to trot you through their little moneymaker's church here behind me in what you think is City Hall. This is a lower portion of a Greek cult. It's a Roman temple where worship of the gods is practiced in. I'd hope for a better turnout, and other people had other things they wanted to do. I have made an end of speaking, but one thing left to be said. The year of 1664, my great-granddad enters into the annals of history the first of 14 times, and he had this final remark to say: "Damn the king, the devil fetch the king." So say I. What say you?
Damn the king. Damn the king.
Damn the king.
King's waiting inside. Are you game?
Yeah.
Damn the king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you heard the truth?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now
Yes.
you know how the fraudulent national debt has been created. It is on the all caps throughout commerce, throughout tickets, throughout case numbers. Gallatin County, I have caused them to evidence themselves as being guilty of bilking the Federal Reserve to the tune of near $400 million per court case, with the acceptance of the Federal Reserve in this. Okay, they're knowledgeable. I laid this on Gallatin County on 6 September 2013 and gave them 30 days to respond yes or no, and that has been 28 days ago as you're standing here in Roman calendar time, and I have been met with total silence. My last serving of documents upon this batch behind me, that batch in Bozeman, I cited them a ruling of 20 U.S. Supreme Court cases that says anytime any member of the judiciary or its actors thereof answer a citizen's complaint, petition, or question with silence, it is known that that judiciary is guilty. Guilt is established. It is not assumed. And Gallatin County, the city commissioners, the county commissioners, all of the bar members are in on this deal. They take the all caps name, they apply a fraudulent commercial value to it, they securitize it, they put it in a bank vault that you think is a jail cell. Then together they create a notice of debt, because this is a federal deceased estate. It's the name of a dead man. That's why if you're not dead, you have to speak. They post notice of debt outstanding as regards this federal estate. It goes through the National Treasury, which has not existed since '29. It goes to the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve receives this bill from Gallatin County, state of Montana, and says, well, glory be, we got a debt. Yay! Turn on the money machines, boys. Let's print some bucks. They print out a paycheck to pay off the debt on their federal estate. When that paycheck comes back to Gallatin County, it looks like a promissory note. The city commissioners, county commissioners receive it and put it up for auction. And now you're at the spot in the scriptures where it says they gambled for his name at the foot of the cross. The soldiers didn't want the bloody shredded rags of Christ. They gambled on the value of your name as you hung on that cross. As he hung on that Greek staros, they gambled for the value of his name. They hedge bets on this, assuming you know nothing about this. Now you know the basis of a hedge fund. If you're a lawyer, I'd run. Okay? This is their fraud. This is the size of it. I have caused Gallatin County in its silence, in its absolute shamed silence, to confess that it has been doing this absolutely on a per-case basis. $400 million per case. I use the evidence out of Texas. They put the payment for the debt up for bid. It circulates around for an estimated 30 days. Everybody bets on it. Here in Vegas, they're betting on it. Somebody wins the high bet, it gets cashed in. They pocket the money after paying 10% tithes to the Brotherhood, because that's biblical, don't you know? 10% tithes, okay? And then, guess what? The debt that was fraudulently assigned as securitized and commercialized to the federally deceased, you, that's not you, in the bank vault that you think is a jail cell, was never paid. And they tell you you're still owing, so they send another notice back to the Federal Reserve. Hey, you never paid your debt. The Federal Reserve goes, glory be, we never got the debt paid. Turn the money machine on, boys. Let's make some bucks. And the whole process starts again. Now, turn your thinking caps on. $400 million per case of fraudulent fictional reserve notes that have only your name to back it. There's nothing backs the fraudulent Federal Reserve note. Only your faith. If you believe in it, it lives. If you don't believe in it, it dies. There's nothing back there. They need what is not your name in all capital letters to appear. That's what they need. They need you to think that's you, and it's never you. Never, never, never. Okay? They turn them presses back on, and the whole process recycles again. $400 million per case. How many cases per year? All the way back, let's take it to 1941 through the Buck Act, when Gallatin County chartered in as a corporate entity. How many cases? How many trillions are we looking at now? Now, there are 55 other counties in this state. Is the Masonic Brotherhood doing the same thing in every county through their judiciary system? You bet they are. They're all linked together. You bet they are. How many states are there? Puerto Rico made 51 by force, right? Is it happening there? Is it happening there? Of course. Is it happening on the moon? Well, if they actually got there, what do you think they planted the corporate flag on it for? If the Martians are on the moon, they're being taxed and run the same way. All right? This is it. You must know you are never the security, the surety. You are never the backing. Your natural name is never the bond that ties you to the fictitious all caps. Ever, ever, ever. And if you think for 1 second that there is no knowledge of this behind this glass door that's a facade behind me, you're completely wrong. Future court appearances that have been scheduled concerning me in the next 10 days have been erased. Why? Because of fear. I represent the face of truth, and I speak with the voice of the people. The gig is up, baby. The curtains are coming down. It's recorded in history that the veil was rent before, that the veil of blindness be rent today, and you guys do it with your hands. It's only my face, my name, my person today. I get the honor of being the battering ram on the Vatican's gates. Starts right here.
Yes.
Yeehaw.
It's you. Each one of you. It's your name. It's your person. It's your character. And you stand for your family. You're charged with doing it. You don't get to get out from underneath of it. To that end, you got to study to show yourselves approved. Workmen that do not need to be ashamed. Have you ever been in a boat with somebody who don't know how to row? Well, I have. You know what happens? You go in circles. You go in circles. Well, learn to row. This is how you row. All these fraudulent cases, all these commercial enjoinderings. Now you know how the fictitious national debt has grown to $262 trillion. Don't let their little numbers throw you off. That's a fog screen. They need you to believe that you have sinned and fallen short of their glory, and that you need their forgiveness and their blessings to be out upon these streets and living your lives. They need to be the gods behind the little face of heaven that starts at the front of the judge's bench. Bullshit! I tell you, they're the demonic realms, and truly they are ex-sane. For to be insane, if you know anything, you know that to be insane means you stand in a condition of total saneness. Beware the Anglo-Saxons, 18 AD. They're the biggest liars on the face of the earth. Don't fall for the English language. Study it and break it apart. You must know who you are, the power, the value of your name, and make no mistake.
May I have the floor for a minute?
Yes.
For those of you who do not understand fully what Ernie is speaking of, let me give you the real world. Go online and search the word QSIP. That is C-U-S-I-P. And then put in the word prison sentence behind it. You will find that when you are assigned that fictitious case number, they take it, they turn it into a QSIP number, which was originally used for the sale of mortgages. They then sell that QSIP on Wall Street. I speak from personal experience, having found 37 companies who bought my false arrest. Now that it's been dropped, it is still out there for over $1.7 million in QSIP bonds, even though the case was dismissed.
Yeah.
Look it up. Don't take his word for it.
That's right.
Don't take my word for it. Do
Yeah.
your own research, because this government is using you as a bond for money. It is there. The proof is real. There is no fictitious statements in what he is saying. It is truth. Look it up. Do your own research, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
This is how you are used. You can find all of this information through the IRS if you actually have certain access to it. And it will show you exactly how much you are worth.
That's right.
They issued a QSIP on you when you were born. Your birth certificate comes with a
Birth
QSIP on the back.
Absolutely.
QSIP stands for Commercial Uniform Securities Identification Procedure.
Yep.
If you have an old Social Security card, there are a series of red or black numbers on the bottom right-hand side on the back. That is your bonding number through the IRS. The numbers on the front are just for a dog and pony show.
That's right.
The court system knows you are worth money,
That's
and they
right.
will sell your QSIP bond on Wall Street. They will make a profit off of you.
That's right.
Are you a slave? If you are, then go home now. Do not listen to anything this man has brought you or that I have brought you. If you are a free human being and are tired of this government using you like a slave, stand up, do your research, end this. Our founding fathers gave us that right in the Declaration. They said when you are reduced to despotism, it is your right to abolish.
That's right.
We
It is
celebrate
incumbent upon
this
you to
for
throw off
200
forms of tyranny.
Right there.
Here comes another sucker.
We
The
celebrate
QSIPs
this every year.
The QSIPs are bundled together, and together they're sold together as what's called derivatives. They magnify the value of the slaves.
Be nice.
You guys know it. You know it, you bastards.
Be nice. We must be above them. They are scum.
This person is a strawberry.
Folks, these are real. Most of you here already know this, but how do you tell your friends? That's what you need to do. The more that knows about this, the better we are as a nation.
Speak loud. Can't hear you.
We are conditioned in our lives to accept the fear-mongering that they hand out so that they have control. From day one at birth, we are given a birth certificate and a number that is issued that tells them they have the right to own you. In capital letters, you are now belonging to them, and under them, they will do to your property what they wish. If you do not stand in front of the court and protest this, and in your silence, if I did not show up, I am guilty. If I do not say that this is an injustice that has happened upon my body, to myself, then I am held liable.
That's right.
And therefore, they have taken the noose and they have hung my persons upon this judicial system and said, I am guilty without say.
That's right.
Why do you think our founding fathers gave us under the 6th Amendment in a criminal trial the right to a trial by jury? Why do you think in a civil case they gave us the 7th Amendment to a trial by jury? Only we can judge each other.
That's right.
If you allow a court and that black-robed Gestapo agent behind it to actually judge you in any case, then you have violated your own trust.
That's
Our
right.
founding fathers were specific. It's repeated. Look up their documents and letters to each other. A trial by jury of your peers, and you have the right to a fully informed jury. That started in American history in 1794 and was upheld in Montana in 1906. You have the right to tell the jury, which is the only one who can judge you, that you must judge me based on the evidence and find me guilty or innocent, and you have the right to judge the law that I have been accused of breaking. This is the power of the jury. This is the power of the people. And if you do not spread this word, if you do not tell the people behind the badges and behind the robes, we the people rule, and the jury makes that so, then you are remiss and you have disgraced everything that the founding fathers and every soldier and free American has fought for. If this sounds like a bunch of hoo-ha, please take your butts to China, because I do not want you in my constitutional republic. Get on board with the jury, get on board with freedom, or get the hell out of this nation.
From the time you were children in school, you learned to write your name, capital letter first, small letters after that.
Right.
That is, in legal terms, if you go to Black's Law Dictionary, that's called capitis diminutio medius. That means you've lost your familial rights. Capitis diminutio maximus is what he's referring to, where they write your name in all capital letters, means you have lost your familial rights and your personal rights. You are reduced to Roman slavery. These are terms that come from the Roman law. You can look these up in Black's Dictionary. If you write your name in all lowercase letters, you are capitis diminutio minimus, means I reserve all my familial and all my personal rights. People, start writing your name, decondition yourself, and write your name in lowercase letters. Establish yourself. Now that you realize that, you know that you're not giving up any of your rights.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
You have the power to be involved and change this. They tell you that the elections don't matter. They matter greatly, because if